Thanks for tuning in to You See Me, focusing on the battle of self-love, acceptance, abuse, spirituality, and much more. Your host, Tina Wyn, will be sharing various ways and strategies that she used to overcome grief, addiction, and depression. You See Me is a self-expressed term Tina uses as a way of making people see the real you. For people to see you, you must first see yourself.
Hi, guys, and welcome back to You See Me. I am your host, Tina Wyn, and as always, I have inside and alongside my ego, Quita. Thank you guys for joining me. Thank you for seeing me. I have been seeing y'all. Continue to see yourselves and continue to come back to see me. So, on today's episode, I would like to talk to you guys about holding grudges. And before we dive into holding grudges, we're going to tear it apart like I always do. So, what is a grudge, right? A grudge is a persistent feeling of ill will or resentment resulting from a past insult or injury. A persistent feeling of ill will or resentment resulting from a past insult or injury. That's a lot. That's deep. So let's start with persistent. What is persistent, guys? Continuing to exist or endure over a prolonged period of time. So that means we have people walking around here because it says a past insult or injury, holding on to things from their past that has either insulted them or injured them. And it is a continuous and existing for a prolonged period of time. So I'm going to share a story with you guys like I always do. Just recently, Tina was speaking with someone, and this person was holding a grudge about something I didn't even remember. Something I didn't even remember. And as they're sitting there telling me, all I could say is, okay, I apologize. See, the problem with grudges is that we hold on to these grudges and we're holding on to resentments because a resentment ain't nothing but something that's resent into your mind. And that's exactly what a grudge is, a persistent thought that is continuously operating in your mind for a prolonged period of time. And as I'm sitting there apologizing to this person, Quita got angry. Quita got angry, guys, because Quita's question to this person was, I don't even remember. So now I'm angry with myself because I'm sitting here apologizing for something that I don't even remember. We have to learn, guys, to allow people, we have to see them so that we could see ourselves. See, because we sit and we hold these grudges towards people, and there's people holding grudges towards us over things we don't remember. Remember, if we are growing, if we have a growth mindset, if we are self-disciplined, all of these topics that we discuss, we're not holding grudges. Holding a grudge against somebody takes too much energy. It says a prolonged period of time. See, let's be clear, because a lot of people think, oh, Tina has this new wife and she's holding grudges or she has resentments. No. My spirit has grown. My spirit is in a different place. I am not the same person that I used to be. There is no grudge. There is no resentment. I am completely a new person. I don't remember what was done. I don't remember what was said. For those incidents that I do remember, all I can do is apologize for the part that I play and move on. But I don't sit and hold grudges. That takes too much time away from my growth mindset and away from me focusing on Christ. A grudge that stems from an offense or minor problem with someone will only continue to grow. It will only continue to grow because what we feed grows and what we starve die. And if we continue to feed whatever it is that caused that grudge, it's going to continue to grow. It's going to continue to fester inside our minds. And listen, your Bible says that vengeance is the Lord's. We should not be holding grudges. Love thy neighbor as you love yourself. Again, and that is the purpose of the You See Me show. Are we loving our neighbors as we loving ourselves, or are we too busy judging them? Because a grudge is too close to judge for me. It sounds too similar for me. Are we judging folks? And I think that's the reason Tina does not hold grudges against people. Neither did Quita. In the midst of all her mess, no, that's not something that she did. I didn't see myself. So I was always forgiving of people and making excuses for people. Oh, they didn't mean it. Oh, that wasn't their pure intent. I didn't know my pure intentions. I didn't know what it was that I was going into that situation looking for. So how can we hold a grudge against someone for something that we either knowingly or unbeknownst played a part in? Because a lot of us play a part in situations, and then when situations go left, we don't want to take ownership of the part we play. So we sit and we hold these resentments, and we allow these thoughts to keep being resent into our minds. And we sit there inside this misery of something that happened, it says, over a prolonged period of time, which means it happened so long ago. You're not growing. You're clearly not growing, because anyone holding resentments and anyone holding grudges, how are you growing if your thought is continuously focused? It says a persistent. If your mind is persistently being focused on a past insult or a past injury, where are you growing? You're not. You're not. A feeling of anger or displeasure about something or someone, that's a resentment. It's a feeling. So what is it that we're feeling? See, because I was in an incident recently. Well, someone tried to throw me in an incident recently. And the person couldn't even explain what it was that they're feeling. We have to be able to own and identify our feelings. So we out here holding resentments and grudges against people, and you can't even tell me what was displeasurable about the feeling that you're feeling. Because if we can own our feelings, we can start owning the part that we play in a lot of situations. And then we'll realize that the people we're upset with or angry with, they didn't do as much to us as we thought. We did it all to ourselves because people treat us how we allow ourselves to be treated. What was it about you that allowed yourself to be put into that situation, to have a resentment, to have a grudge? And we holding on to things that we can't even remember. We holding on to things we can't even remember. If you can't remember it, it doesn't even make sense. What is it that you're holding on to if you don't remember? So you just holding on to imaginary thoughts, imaginary hurts, imaginary pains, imaginary feelings about something that you can't even pinpoint. Quita's been through a lot with a lot of people. I've been hurt a lot. I've been let down a lot. But I have to look at the parts that I play. Have I hurt people? Yes. Has Quita let people down? Yes. Has Quita lied to and disrupted people? Yes. So we can't point a finger at someone for doing something to us, and we ourselves are guilty of that same conviction. And a lot of times that's what we do. We walk around for years mad and angry at this one and that one because they lied. They did this, they did that. Have you never lied? Have you never done what it is that you're holding this person accountable for? See, because you can't sit in one breath and say, I'm a Christian, I read my Bible, I have faith, I believe in the things that God is setting forth for me, but then you're holding a resentment and you're holding a grudge. And I'm going to go a little step further, and the person involved might be a little bit upset at me for disclosing, but I went through this same situation with a family member of mine. And this person preaches. And I said to this person, how is it that you get on your pulpit Sunday after Sunday after Sunday preaching to your congregation, saving lives, but you're not being true to yourself because you don't even see yourself. You don't even see that you're standing up there, but you have resentments and grudges towards your little sister. You don't even see that you're standing up there and you have resentments towards your cousin, or you have resentments towards a aunt, a uncle, a father. How is it that you can tell me? See, because we have to see ourselves. You cannot stand here and tell people about the love of God, but then when you get down, people are seeing you hold grudges and resentments towards your own family. You got to make that make sense. See, the problem that came along with Tina and with Quita was her appearance. And y'all see me. I'm a very laid back person. All of the extra stuff, the glitz, the glam, it was never really me. Yeah, I'll get dressed if I have to, but give me some jeans and some sneakers, a hoodie, some sweats. That's Quita all day. And I was always written off and I was always judged because of my parents. I was written off and judged because of the things that I was doing. And it made me shy away more from God. It didn't show me the love of God because you wasn't displaying that to me. You wasn't a positive example of what God would do. And if I'm being 100% honest, it led me to Christ on my own. It led me to Christ on my own because I hear you preaching this, but I see you living this. So let me go investigate the subject for myself because I know God ain't teach you to live like this. I may not know him enough, but I knew him enough to know that wasn't it. See, that's another problem with people. We too lazy to go investigate the subject for ourselves. Whatever people are telling us and whatever people are putting forth out their mouth, we just taking it and running with it instead of investigating ourselves. How would you ever know what the Bible says if you don't pick it up? Oh, because pastor recited some scriptures and you sat in the front row and memorized them. So now you know God. No, that's not how this go. You got to know God for you. And resentments and grudges is not of God. We can't sit and say we love the Lord, but then we're not willing to forgive the man or the woman sitting next to us. It doesn't go. It doesn't align. It does not align.
Hey, how you guys doing? This is Regina Hutt, the wellness practitioner at Empower Mornings. Join me every Monday at noon to work out with Regina on One Network.
See, the purpose of the You See Me show is for people to see themselves and own themselves in any and every situation. We have to learn to be grown enough to take accountability for the things that we are doing, for the things that we are putting forth. And most of us have resentments. Some of us are holding resentments towards ourselves. Tina has a few resentments towards herself. Yes, I do. And I pray and I give them to God. See, I used to sit and resent myself from being an absent mother for periods of my daughter's life. I used to sit and resent myself because of certain choices that I made in my life. But I had to give that all to God. I had to go to God and ask God, how is it that I forgive myself? How do I forgive myself so that these thoughts are not being resent into my mind, so they are not continuously being persistent over a prolonged period? See, this is why Quita was 30, still doing things from when she was 20, because of resentments, because of grudges. I refuse to let this person do this to me because this past person did that to me, because it's past insults and injuries of hurt, feelings of injury and insult. Resentment describes a negative emotional reaction to being mistreated. And when I sat and I really, really dug into that, how many people have Quita mistreated? I don't even have to ask. Let's go a little deeper. I don't even have to ask how many people have I mistreated. I can start with myself because I see myself now. Tina sees herself. Tina mistreated Tina. So the other people that my spirit mistreated is not even relevant to me because I have to get me right first. If I didn't even know how to treat me, how did you expect me to know how to treat you? And that's the question we have to ask ourselves when dealing with people. Most people don't know how to treat themselves, and then we expecting them to know how to treat us. See, remember, Quita used to allow any and everybody to attach themselves to her, consider them her friends, and then take whatever it is that they got to run, got, and run with it. But because Tina sees herself now, Tina's they're not allowing just anyone into my life. Why? Because I no longer mistreat myself. I don't have to resent you, and I don't have to have a grudge for toward you if I use good judgment, wisdom. Remember, are we growing? Do we have experience? Do we have knowledge? And are we using good judgment? Because if we are using good judgment, that means that the people that's in our lives is sowing into us. We don't have people in our lives that's mistreating us and creating negative emotional reactions. Does that mean that everybody in your life is going to go according to the things that you're saying and doing at all times? No, you'll have disputes with people, but it is not going to leave a feeling of negative emotions. People criticize me every day, all day, but I'm clear on who I am, so it doesn't leave it. That is your critique of me. I take what belongs to me and I leave the rest. I'm not sitting holding on to what you said for a prolonged period. I'm not holding a resentment. I'm not holding a grudge. Resentments are triggered by relationships with people who must be right all the time. See, I have a lot of people in my life, and I remember Quita always used to tell this certain individual, it's not about right or wrong. Because the minute that we got into a disagreement and we started seeing in separate visions, oh, why do I always gotta be wrong? Listen, it's not about right or wrong. You're making yourself wrong because that's what you want to be. I never said you were wrong. The situation is wrong, but we have to own the parts that we play. What part did you play in it? Because it's not about right or wrong. And if you're dealing with a person or a spirit that always has to be right, you wrong to begin with for even dealing with it. Because we have to recognize these spirits. We have to know which spirits is triggering us and which spirits is for us and which spirits ain't for us. Then it says you're feeling put down. So that was the situation with my family. I didn't hold a grudge. I didn't hold a resentment. But there were certain family members that every time I went around, I felt like I was being put down. I didn't get the hugs that I felt I needed. I didn't get the love and support that I felt I needed. And sometimes Tina still don't. But Tina hugs herself. You know what Tina tells herself? Tina, maybe they don't know how to give you a hug. Yeah, because sometimes we gotta accept what we expect. Sometimes we expect people to play these roles in our lives and to do certain things in our lives that they don't know how. See, there was a lot of people in Quita life that Quita no longer deals with because they didn't know how to reciprocate what it was that I was presenting to them. And maybe it's because it was never presented to them before. People can't give you something that they themselves don't have. So in one of my past relationships, I remember when I was first getting clean, I cried so hard, so hard to this person because I needed them to be there for me. And the truth and the reality that I was presented with in that moment wasn't what I wanted because the person pushed me away. But it made me who I am today. See, because in that moment, I expected that person to reach out their arms, give me a hug, embrace me, and be by my side. But when Tina had to sit and see Tina, you in this situation because that person didn't see themselves. You're in this situation because you didn't see yourself. So now that you see yourself, you expecting this person to see themselves and you're expecting a result that you can't get because you have to allow everybody their process. You have to remember when you was lost and somebody came along to find you. See, we quick to sit and hold a grudge and hold a resentment because a person may be acting a certain way or doing a certain thing. Remember, they cause a feeling of anger or displeasure inside of you. But Tina has done a lot of displeasurable things to people. So I can't sit and hold a grudge because the grudge will be mine. And again, Leviticus 19:18. We can't be out here. We have to love our neighbor as we love ourselves. So are we loving our neighbor as we love ourselves? And there's a reason that God wants us to love our neighbor as we love ourselves, because we all here together. You have to see the person next to you in order to appreciate seeing yourself. You don't know what that man is going through, what that woman is going through. See, Quita suffers from mental health. And I remember there's a lot of times I used to sit in Yonkers with certain people and people would make fun of the situation. And I'm going to tell y'all from my own personal experience. Racing thoughts, voices, visions, depression is real. It's real, guys. And for someone to sit and judge, because that's what a grudge is. Your actions that you had no control over makes them just as sick as you. See, mental health is very, very, very real. And most people fear what they don't understand. You don't know what it's like to have your thoughts overcrowding your mind. You don't know what it's like to see things that other people don't see, to hear things that other people don't hear, to know things that other people don't know. Because everybody labels you as crazy. Everybody labels you as bugged out. And they hold these grudges and resentments. Oh no, don't deal with her. She crazy. And for a prolonged period of time, it is a persistent feeling of ill will or resentment being held towards you. I have people today holding grudges and resentments towards me over things that I didn't even do, things that they themselves did, but they're putting the blame on me. Do I hold a resentment or a grudge back? No, I see them. I see them, I see the spirit, I pray for it, and I tell myself one day when they're ready, y'all will get past it. Y'all be able to see it eye to eye. See, because a resentment is not hurting the other person, it's hurting you because you're the one holding on to it. So a lot of us is weighing our own shoulders down. We walking around holding a grudge against this person for this, a grudge against that person for that. And we don't even remember. They don't even remember. We have to start making sense of living a faith-filled life.
Hey, 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 how you guys doing? This is Regina Hutt, the wellness practitioner at Empower Mornings. Join me every Monday at noon to work out with Regina on Wyn Network.
And that is my task for everybody for this week. Go out, let go of whatever grudge that you may be holding towards someone. Because if you are holding grudges, you are not sowing, you are not growing, you are not self-disciplined, and the things that you are putting forth is not in alignment with Christ. Because he said vengeance is his. See, Quita used to fight all day. Remember, I had that combative spirit. Why? Because the things that people were telling me, I didn't want to hear. I wasn't using good judgment. So I would be combative and I would want to fight with them. Now, and it blows my mind, guys. And I keep telling y'all, go out and this is just Tina. Go out and try this stuff if y'all don't believe me. Because half the time I can't even respond to nonsense. People say so much things to me these days, and I just smile and hit them with the have a blessed day. And I genuinely, wholeheartedly mean that. Why? Because I recognize the spirit. I realize that you're not mad at me, you're mad at what's in me. But Tina is always going to speak her truth. See, a lot of people don't like dealing with Tina because they like, oh gosh, here she come. Here go the school book. Here go the teacher. There she go with her speeches. You don't got to listen to what I got to say because I'm going to say it anyway. Y'all see me. I'm going to say what I got to say anyway. And you may not be listening, but you heard me. And as long as you heard me, that's all that matters to Quita. You heard me. And it'll resonate one day. We have to see people. We have to own our parts that we play with people. We cannot just be out here putting things out and not able to take them back in. So I want you guys to continue to see yourselves, continue to see others, and most importantly, continue to see me every Saturday at 4 right here on the We Empower Network. Thank you guys for joining me.